Hello everybody. This is a really important video. So anyway, it's about the mimic grid, the grid that we live in, and how it delays awakening. So let's talk about the mimic grid and what it is. Because it's not a villain and it's not evil. It's an interface. The mimic grid is an artificial overlay in consciousness. Its purpose is simple: to delay your surrender. It's not to destroy you, it's to keep you moving. Because awakening doesn't happen through movement. It happens through stillness. So the first disruption, it starts with hijacking of suffering. Original design was not meant to be as a punishment. It was a fail-safe. See, suffering builds pressure, and pressure leads to exhaustion. It pushes the ego to its absolute limit, and eventually something breaks. Not you, but your grip. The original design of suffering was this. It was to build pressure, to lead to exhaustion, to the breaking open of the heart. But the mimic grid intercepts that process, see. It rebrands suffering as, you deserve this. This is your debt. This is punishment. This is their fault. Because blame replaces surrender. And as long as blame is active, the ego's still in control. And that's the loop. That's the delay. The second disruption is the bypass. The original failsafe was slow. The return is to be lived experience. A return through humility, a return through consequence. Because wisdom has to be embodied. But the mimic grid offers something faster. It offers intellectual spirituality, digital ascension, information without integration. See, it floods the field with data. It uses sacred geometry, cosmic maps, frequency language, endless concepts that are out there. So the mind feels expanded, but the heart never cracks open. That was the weaponization of information. Not because wisdom is bad, but because knowledge can become armor. It protects you from the eventual surrender. So you can know everything and never surrender. See, it creates masters of the mind just to prevent stewards of the heart. The third phase is exhaustion. Eventually, the bypass collapses. Because you can't think your way out of grief, and you can't research your way out of heartbreak. You cannot ascend around your nervous system. The psyche has to fracture. And that fracture isn't failure, it's the doorway. Here's the fatal flaw, the flaw in the mimic grid. See, eventually it runs out of control. Surrender's the absence of control. When a human stops seeking, stops defending, stops blaming, and stops trying to spiritually outperform themselves, they'll become still. Then the system loses its grip. Because the grid tracks movement, it tracks your reaction, it tracks grasping, it tracks identity. Stillness is invisible to it. And this is the law of stillness. When you truly surrender, you stop feeding the interface, and something organic returns, not downloaded, not installed, and not activated by effort at all. It's remembered. This leads to the replacement. When surrender happens, the artificial pattern isn't just deleted, it gets replaced. So shame becomes honesty. Control becomes trust. Self-rejection becomes self-love. And this can't be simulated. Because surrender cannot be faked. The mimic grid can imitate knowledge, and it can imitate light. It can even imitate awakening language. But it cannot imitate the breaking open of the heart. And that's the key to the whole thing. Awakening isn't about fighting the grid. It's about exhausting the need to control. And when control collapses, the heart opens. Then the delay ends. Have a great day, guys.